This is Sonic, and you're watching SonicsChannel.
One Up TV!
Now, Sonic's been around for quite some time, and he's shown us his ups and downs. But due to the positive nature of us, we like to talk about the good stuff. Things that make us feel happy and feel good, you know? That's why we're going through every Sonic title and counting down our top 10 favorite spin-offs in the series.
That's right, because Sonic's success got him so popular that we got completely unnecessary games that have absolutely nothing to do with the main Sonic stories whatsoever. But that's what we love about spin-offs.
This is Michael Hunter.
And this is Yoshi 1UP.
And welcome to our
Sonic spin-offs.
Number 10.
Can you feel the sunshine?
Does it brighten up your day? Are you feeling it, Michael? Because I'm really feeling it.
Yeah, I was feeling it as a child, but not so much now.
When the game originally came out, it was amazing. It was tons of fun. It's one of those games that didn't age too well, but it was incredible at the time.
It did bring us some great things, however, like a groovy soundtrack that you can't help but to sing along with, unlocking characters, searching for hidden Chaos Emeralds to unlock the final stage, and unlock Supersonic in the process. It was pretty fun at the time.
Not to mention the first and only appearance of Metal Knuckles and
the Chaos Star.
Yeah, Sonic R brought some good times. It's a shame it didn't age too well.
The joy that it brought to our childhoods definitely gave it a deserving spot for this list.
As much as I actually didn't like this game too much when it came out, it was the first major Sonic spin-off title, yeah. Aside from Sonic Eraser at least, which no one really knew of its existence.
Although we have mixed feelings about this game, Sonic Spinball was a very unique Sonic game that worked really well for Sonic himself. Anything that may try to mimic this game would just be a blatant ripoff.
Yeah, pretty much, because Sonic has always been known for momentum-based gameplay, and not to mention he always curls up in a ball. It's actually a pretty good concept.
And you can't forget that this is the only Sonic game where you can see everyone's favorite Archie characters, like Sally, Bunny, and Rotor. But only in the pinball minigame, where you play a smaller pinball game within the pinball game. What's the point of this again?
I don't know, but I probably never really liked this game because I sucked at it, and I still do, kind of.
Number 8.
Now I'm 128% sure that I would have missed out on this great classic if it wasn't for Sonic Adventure DX and Sonic Gems Collection providing us with this amazing old school title.
Tails Adventures was huge, giving us all kinds of power-ups, explorations, upgrades, and cool different vehicle types to choose from. Who doesn't like a ton of useful tools and gadgets? They're crazy.
Now, as unpopular as this title was due to it being on the Game Gear, I'd definitely love to see a remake of this. It was surprisingly big for a Game Gear game, offering possibly even more than some of the console games at the time.
If you've ever wondered what life was like for Tails before he met Sonic, then this is your lifelong dream come true.
By the way, Tails had so many weapons to fight off enemies and defend himself. This makes me wonder, why is Tails so useless nowadays unless he's using his brains?
Huh, now that's a good question.
Number 7.
Now this was a hard game to add to the list, because we had to play the game first to see if we actually enjoyed it. Now see, this game was only released in Japanese arcade cabinets, and we didn't quite have access to those, for obvious reasons. So we had to try the game out through other means.
Yeah, but once we got our hands on it, it's super crazy. You got Sonic screaming all the time, bunch of wacky animations, cool graphics, satisfying rings to collect. Man, this game's got all you need. The game's super frantic and forces you to keep moving, because if you stop for even a few seconds, you're probably gonna die.
You also got 3-player co-op where you can actually play as Mighty and Ray. Where they went after this game, the world may never know. But yeah, this game would have been a ton of fun to play on arcade cabinets. It's a shame they never released these machines in the States.
Yeah, the original game used the trackball, which was pretty popular on the arcade machines at the time, making pretty much every controller configuration crappy and hard to control, making us fall to our deaths over and over and over again.
Yeah, that part wasn't so fun.
Number 6.
And here we have yet another classic arcade title, but this time we got it on GameCube with Sonic Gems Collection, and we even got an HD port with widescreen and online.
Yeah man, the game was like Virtua Fighter, but with all the Sonic characters you grew up with and loved, along with characters you didn't love or grew up with. Maybe you love Bean and Bark now though, I don't know.
Now this game surprisingly has a very large variety of attacks, and some are pretty entertaining to watch. Making people dizzy with Sonic, smashing their faces in with a clap attack, watching Bean peck you to death, or making him eat his own bomb.
This game is also so violent, you can literally beat the rings out of your opponents with every punch, rings splattered everywhere.
Wow. What's this game rated again?
I don't know, probably KA. What does that stand for, Michael?
Number 5.
This was definitely an underrated title that I felt deserved a lot more love. But I guess it was one of those love it or hate it type titles.
Sonic writers had a lot of very creative ideas, from surfing on your opponent's turbulence and doing tricks off of them, rotating the analog stick on certain sections to recharge your board's air, even to the way you have to start the race.
This game definitely has a lot of unique mechanics, to the point that they even brought in the different character type concepts from Sonic Heroes, each having their own pathways and shortcuts to take.
And the same with almost every Sonic game. The music is so futuristic and high-tech, you can't just sit there and play the game, you gotta bob your head to those insanely cool electronic beats. This is some of the best music in the series.
And I spent so much time trying to get this game 100% complete, trying to unlock all the way past cool extreme gear. But yeah, this game does so much and gets so little credit for all the good stuff it's done. It was definitely a one-of-a-kind game. Then the sequels came out.
Let's not talk about those.
Okay.
Number 4.
Possibly one of the most underrated Sonic titles ever released, and this was most likely because it was released on the equally underrated 32X attachment for the Sega Genesis, which I was one of the rare people who actually owned one, just not this game, because I kinda didn't know it existed.
Knuckles Chaotix was a beautiful game to look at, with a bunch of cool special effects and super colorful and crisp graphics. This was the first game we got to play as a full team known as the Chaotix.
We also got that ring mechanic which linked two characters together, sort of like a bungee cord, and I also kinda have mixed feelings about that concept, but it was still fun regardless. Each character actually gave us a nice variety of abilities.
Knuckles can glide and climb walls, Vector can boost into different directions in the air, SBO can stick to walls, Mighty is Sonic, and Charmy can fly pretty much everywhere.
And the soundtrack alone was almost enough to put this on the top 10 list. Aside from the ring mechanic thingy, this game features pretty much everything you love about Sonic games, which is high-speed gameplay, simply being a great platformer, and awesome music. Why this game still hasn't gotten a port on one of the newer consoles is beyond me.
Oh, and I forgot to mention SBO can change colors.
Okay, and why is that important?
Cause it's cool, duh.
Number 3.
Why does Sonic need a car? He can just run.
Just don't.
Yeah, despite it being a mouthful of a title, Sonic and Sega AllStars Racing was a super fun and fast-paced racing game, and with items that didn't make you want to rage quit like certain Mario Kart titles.
The game has a super cool roster of your favorite Sega characters all crammed into one game. Select your favorite Sega player and have them cruise through insane track designs with super colorful environments.
Then there's also the extra missions mode, which you don't typically get in a kart racer. But it definitely adds more replay value and variety to the single player mode, aside from just playing the usual Grand Prix mode. You can also unlock a bunch of character bios. Do you know how I knew Knuckles' favorite food is grapes? Because this game told me.
You also get a way past cool set of music tracks for each stage of familiar Sonic and Sega tunes. And whenever you're not jamming to the beats in sound test mode, you can take it to the streets by playing the online mode with a whole bunch of random people. Be sure to humiliate them in front of their friends, you know what I'm saying? I know what you're saying, man.
Number 2.
Everything about this game is amazing, and only angers me that after all these years I have still yet to play the multiplayer mode. simply because none of my friends had this game, and I didn't have a multiplayer link for the Game Boy Advance.
Sonic Battle had an amazing roster of Sonic characters, superb animation, a cool story mode, and Mode 7 3D backgrounds. It also had a sweet soundtrack that was only held back from the crappy quality of the Game Boy Advance's sound chip.
All those features are super cool, and I love the gameplay mechanics and each character's unique moveset, which brings me to one of the coolest features this game has.
Tell me.
Well, in story mode, there's this robot named Emerl. He starts out like really slow and pathetic and stuff, but you can unlock these character cards that contains every character moveset in the game. You can give these cards to Emerl and literally customize every single move combination you want. Normally this seems very ambitious, especially for a 2D sprite animated game, but they actually took the time to give every single move that exists in the game to Emerl, to create a character exactly to your liking.
Wow, that's pretty sweet, man. Sonic Battle is pretty amazing. It's too bad they didn't really release a sequel or some kind of port on the consoles, so, multiplayer would be more accessible.
I don't want to talk about it.
My bad.
Now there were some other Sonic titles that we enjoyed, but they didn't quite make it to our personal top 10 list. So here are some honorable mentions.
It's time for number 1!
Whoops, wrong clip.
Number 1!
Yeah, this was a pretty easy pick for us. The game transformed the way we normally play a traditional kart racer. No pun intended, even though I make puns all the time, but whatever. Giving us 3 different variations of each vehicle, which give us sweet gameplay elements that we love.
Whether you're driving traditionally on the streets, going hydro thunder over water, or bringing it on like Diddy Kong in the skies, there's a ton of fun to be had, no matter what play style you're in.
This also makes for some very creative track design that constantly keeps things fresh as you play through the game. You may think you have a track figured out after the first 1 or 2 laps, but nope! A sea monster will break the track or a missile will destroy the road, forcing you to fly and take a whole new path.
The amazing mechanics of the game are just the beginning. This game actually gives you a ton of replay value even in its single player modes. You get your usual time attack and Grand Prix mode everyone's used to, but then we get a huge world tour mode with tons of missions. You'll be drifting for your life, flying through rings, dodging incredibly annoying traffic cars that'll test your patience, and even firing missiles at an evil virtual tank.
Having a single player mode this vast sets it apart from any other typical kart racer you'll come by, even almost giving it the feeling that you're actually playing an adventure game and not just a racing game.
Not to mention the great online play, the awesome remixes and sweet character roster. You got TF 2. That's Team Fortress 2, yo. Gentlemen, nom 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 nom. Sorry.
We really could go on and on about how great this game is. It's an excellent game in every way, and there was really no debate in making this our number 1 Sonic the Hedgehog spin-off title. Well, that about wraps it up for this list.
And if you disagreed, then that's because your opinion simply isn't the same as ours.
Pretty much. But if you agreed or enjoyed this video, be sure to share this video with your friends and leave a like and a comment. Clicking that subscribe button is also very helpful.
And yo, if you want to chill out and see more stuff like this and maybe watch some classic video game parodies, check out our website at oneupisland.com. Links are in the description down below.
But anyway, thank you guys for watching. This is Michael Hunter.
And this is Yoshi 1UP.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Later.